2, 3. Hello. Hello. So hello everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 19 of Being Locked in a House.
How about that? Staying strong.
When Alex and I met, it honestly, now when I look back on it, it's like, do you remember we met in 1984? And that's how long this show's been going.
Yeah. They took down that Berlin Wall. I mean, and then we just opened up.
Who knew the Hoff was going to be so famous?
Sorry.
So introduction.
Look at that bookcase.
You had money on that one.
CDs and living in the past.
Right, so let's hide that. Let's do the clickety thing.
So
introductions. We've got Alex from Michigan. We've got Leon, Penang, and then we've got Louise all the way from Bristol. You should be able to hear me, Lou. Louise.
I can hear you. Yeah. Oh, hang on, wait.
Next door neighbours.
Yeah.
Got a can and some string. You can just connect it between these two squares here.
Travels up the M5.
Boom.
That's how it works.
So what I would love to do is we always have a little catch up and see how everyone's getting on, where we are respectively. But Louise, have you been to a real gig?
Yeah, I have been live gigging. I've been live gigging both outside and in a room.
Whoa!
Wait for it. Actual real life humans, lumpy, weird humans.
Oh, I've done gigs there.
In real time.
In real time with them in the room, I licked the microphone.
Oh, bold.
2 gigs.
Nice.
I have to say, I've now invested in my own SM58 that I can lick of my own and not worry.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I want to just point out that I never intend to lick a microphone, but ever since COVID, I've started to really lick them.
Sex appeal.
It's just like, it's not even like I'm doing it on purpose. I just kind of go, so anyway, like that, and just give it a lick, like a dog or something. It's like I've got a death wish.
Comedy's dangerous now.
Oh, genuinely, I could be a super spreader. That's how it goes. You're like,
Super spreader sounds good.
I've started to take my temperature morning and night just because as a precaution to protect the public from the me.
Coming around with your microphone.
Licking people.
We're going to start doing comedy out of blimps.
Yeah. What are those things? Zorbs.
Yeah. Doing comedy out of those plastic bombs.
I'm loving the idea of the punchline landing just after you do.
Yeah, right? Strange thing happened as I tried to get to the front door today.
So the other day,
If someone was smoking on stage, that'd be quite good. Smoking inside the Zorb, just generally getting smoking.
Do you know what? I once saw, I'll never forget, Paul Daniels. So you'll know, Leon, you'll know Paul Daniels. Alex, you won't know Paul Daniels. He was a 1980 TV comedian, right? And he had like a big glossy show on a Saturday night, and he would have guest magicians on, and I've never forgotten seeing the guy who did blue bubbles, and he had made a square bubble by using science. He blew like lots of different round bubbles, stuck them together and made a square in the middle, and the way you knew it was a square bubble was that he used a straw and a cigarette, and he filled that bubble with smoke, and there it was, a cuboid. Anyway, when you said the Zorb filling with smoke, that's what popped into my head. And for reasons of I haven't seen any other adults, I had to share.
Hard to bring that up to kids.
I love it. You don't see him
All
anymore.
right.
He's dead.
Here's a
isn't he,
me
Paul Daniels?
question.
I mean,
Yeah, he is dead.
I'm not the bubble guy. Maybe I know.
Oh, the bubble guy. No, you don't think he's probably dead as well. Come on, it would be probably 1979 or something.
What do you think would be considered more offensive, smoking on stage or not
Paul
wearing a
Daniels.
mask in a shop?
You can't smoke on stage now.
You can't wear it.
I
not
saw
wear a
three-
mask in the shop.
I had to go to Big Smoke, friend. We went to get her dad some shoes. This is how exciting our lives were. We were standing in a shoe shop, and these three guys were holding like some t-shirts or like sportswear or whatever, and they were standing there with no masks on. And I was like, look,
Point.
look. And we were just like, wow. They're like fucking gangsters, mate.
You're in Devon.
You can
Pick 'em
see
up
their
the village,
whole
put the crowd
identity.
together with the pitchforks. Out, burn the houses down. Oh, you work in Devon.
Gotta exercise this house.
I was in the shop, a certain sports goods shop that's well known for how badly it treats its staff, and yet I continue to give them money because I'm a bad person. But, there were two guys in there with their masks like just down here,
Yeah,
protecting us from their chins.
I see that a lot.
I'm like,
I see a lot of them on the wrists to protect the wrists from COVID.
well, see now
I'm very
the
protective.
wrist thing. If you're outside, the wrist thing I think is kind of okay because you're outside with it on your
Leave
wrist,
your
and
wrist.
when it's a good like as an owner of hair, you keep a hair bubble on your wrist and then you pop it in your hair when it's. But so I can see why you pop it on your wrist and maybe you forgot to put it on. But that one, that's just.
Like, what are we doing? I get a lot of the mask right like underneath the nose, so the
Yeah.
nose is out, so they're just like
Because-
shooting
Yes.
whatever is at you.
Because fully, and everybody knows that there are literally no droplets come out of a nose, do they?
No, yeah, no, never.
Never, not constantly in the case of some people. Husband.
That's not what I use my Kleenex for. It's for a different type of cleanup. Don't worry about it. Don't ask any questions.
I'm imagining now a sort of constant drip there, which is.
That's worse in a way.
If you've ever had your leg humped by a child or spaniel, which I have, there's an unmistakable feeling that just like slightly moist penile end on your leg.
Very friendly. Very friendly.
Lucy's like that. I'm finding this so relatable. I have to hide.
Yeah. What do you think's underneath that chair?
Yeah, there's a little moist penile end.
Like, excuse me for a minute. I'll be right back. Just gotta lighten the mood for this podcast.
So, Mr. Bradley, I'd love to catch up with you, but I need to say to you, I thought of you this week. I went to my local spa. I walked there to get something. And as I was walking, I saw a tin of this hard seltzer alcoholic water majingy stuff. And I thought of you because you were drinking it the other day. And it's the new craze, alcoholic water.
Yep.
Vodka.
And it is horrible. It is horrid.
very good.
It tastes of sadness.
Mhm.
Just beat it to tea then. Cup of
What
tea.
is- no, but I don't want to go over old ground. It's obviously something that's been discussed, but also, what's the fuck? I feel it deserves.
Yeah.
I
What are you talking about?
don't know. Alcoholic water. No,
Yes.
that's
It's-
just buy a tin of special brew or other extra strong lager. It's for alcoholics. It's like an admission to yourself. I can't even buy a refreshing tin of water, because that's also a thing, without it having booze in it. Just fucking make a drink, right? Have a nice drink that tastes nice, right?
I want to be able to drink my alcohol in like a clear bottle, so I can drink.
But they
and
already
people
have
don't think.
that. It's called vodka, or
Yeah.
if you buy cheap enough, alcohol, right? Polish alcohol, right? But you just and make an admission to yourself, and just go straight for the hard stuff. Don't.
I can stop whenever I want to.
Yeah, as long as it's not today.
Just not today.
Not
I
today.
don't want to, and I can't seem to get past that.
Mhm.
What
So
you need,
seltzer alcohol it is.
what you need is alcoholic
You know when they
mouthwash.
first brought
Yeah, well, you already have that.
alcoholic
But
mouthwash.
then you can drink as much as you like, and your breath smells nice. Teeth are fine.
Just chuck on your Corsadil, mate. Do you know what I mean?
So I bought it and I thought, well, this is it. I'll go for the lemon because I like lemon more than what the others look like. And do you remember when they first brought out water, but with like flavoured water? It's not squash, just flavoured
squash.
water. And that's
We
We just
And it-
missed out
and,
the colouring.
and it just missed out the colouring. It is, but it tastes really sweetenery. It really saccharine-y. That sort of squash. Well, that's what that hard seltzer tasted, but not as good as the flavoured water. And I just thought, fuck, if I'm trying to do
Are you
secret
sure it
drinking, I'm
wasn't
not going
a
to do
hand
it.
sanitizer?
Yeah, it's orange flavored hand sanitizer with more bubbles.
It sounds like hand sanitizer. Like if you drank hand sanitizer, that's what it would taste like.
That's hard seltzer, hand sanitizer. It's an anagram. Don't look that up. Don't work it out.
We call it sand sanitizer in our family.
It dries your hands out.
Just because we're crazy.
You're living your best life.
So how have you been, Alex? Now that I've interrupted you and attacked your
Oh, no.
drinks.
We're fine. I've been good. Comedy is happening sporadically around the state. Certainly, it's like backyard shows. People are doing pop-up shows out of their garage, where it's all like, "Don't mind this broken lawnmower. Just let me tell these jokes," and they'll just be in their driveway, and people will just walk up and be like, "Is this where the comedy is happening?" Oh, that's
How very Maria Bamford.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wherever you can at this point. The local comedy club in my town does like Facebook Live, and they'll like have comedians like come to the comedy club, but they're the only ones there in the room, and they'll just broadcast it live. And like,
Yeah, we're doing that.
cool to do that.
Yeah,
At least just be in the environment where comedy used to happen. But that's
Like
pretty much
walking
it.
around a graveyard.
Yeah. People used to laugh
He-
there. They used to laugh
Yeah.
there.
Oh, look, this one died.
Yeah. He never made it out. Let's pray for him and his family.
Yeah. When you go back to real comedy, somebody really laughs, will put you right off.
We had
No,
Joel
darling.
from Sydney on just as they were opening up Sydney, and he went to an open mic night, and he said it was basically just everybody in that pub were the comedians. They no one else.
How is that
talked about
different from a normal
being-
open mic?
Yeah, actually.
How is that different? I mean, that's an open mic night, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Everyone's there as the comics looking to brush up on their material. I miss that. I keep writing stuff. I'm like, don't know if this is gonna work. Don't know when I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
The thing is that for these gigs, like, because at the I've only done one gig I wasn't paid for, and that was the Russell Howard gig where he walked out. Did you see that in the papers? Oh my God, I was in the
Yeah.
In the
newspaper.
paper. It's so popular.
I was on
You
the
went
paper.
the filming one, were you?
Yeah, I was at that. Yeah, I was all that.
And I
This is
thought
the picture of
you
you
were
licking a
filming.
microphone
Oh
around
no, I wasn't filming. I'm not
God.
that much of a prick. I mean, I am a prick fully, but not that much. Yes, that's the only one I didn't get paid for, and all the others are paid gigs. So I'm just like, wheel out the old bangers. Haven't written a thing. Can't even imagine it, because I'm just like, yeah, how will I know it's funny until it's
Until you get in around.
until I get it into it, people. Oh, I did write. Can I tell you my joke? I wrote a joke
Yes.
because I don't write jokes. I just do this. People wonder if animals have an inner soul. And I know for sure my dog's got one. I wish he'd bring it back. My trainers are really uncomfortable without it.
Got a little misdirect at the end. Woo!
Everyone loves animal jokes.
I mean, I'm so excited to tell you that because my kids are really fed up of hearing it.
Kids, Mum wrote a joke. Yeah, we know you're a comedian.
Oh.
No.
No.
What a dog.
No, but it's like inner soul. Inner soul. We know. Come here, boy. I'm going to switch.
Alex is laughing so much, he's literally collapsed.
Oh, it's nice to see his door handles though on the cupboard where he keeps the corpses, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Leon, how have you been? I'm loving the decorated salsa.
Oh, here we go. See, that's advertising. You mentioned
we
it. Showed us the picture. He went out and drank it.
This is actually a beer.
Yeah.
We got a straight double
Hey.
IPA. Well, yeah.
Hipster lager.
Egypt. A
Hipster
girl
lager.
named, what's it called? A girl named Egypt.
Yep.
Girl named Egypt.
Fancy. She's even got a microphone. She's gonna lick that, and then you're good to go. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like coarse steel and sweat. It's
Good.
amazing. I love it.
But Leon, how are you, sweetie? How have you been? Loving the background now. Much better than a plain white wall.
I like to always change. I keep changing now. No, this is my new thing. Change the background. Put effort in. Yeah. No, I've been doing some online stuff and online shows. But yeah, like Alex said, it's always a bit weird. It's like you just don't. So a lot of them are just the silence. And you just like just use it as practice to read out jokes, like reading a book. And here's the next. And here's another joke. And another joke.
It's like learning your lines.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So it's just, practice, I suppose. But I did one with real people. But again, it was like an open mic, which was other comedians, but they were nearly all American comedians. So I don't think they got some of the jokes, and some of them they did, some of them they don't. I could be bothered changing it in the end. I thought I'll just run through it, and if they get it, they get it. If they don't.
Is there any British slang or Malaysian slang that I'm missing? There was a few words in this podcast that I definitely didn't know.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. And then some kind of talk show with some American guy, which was a bit weird. Because he did the question, like, how did you get started in comedy? So he asked that question, how did you start in comedy? Then everyone had a little story, but his story was really strange. So he said, "Oh, I got into starting in comedy because I wanted to use it as therapy," which is kind of like a normal kind of answer. He said because I had to go into anger management, and then he moved on. But then, of course, I was being really nosy, and I said, "I've got to know the story about how you got into anger management and got into comedy." And then he said, because he was in his car. So I thought I was looking for like some kind of funny, nice kind of story. He was in his car, and someone cut him off. Yeah, and he got out and ripped the windshield wipers off, and had a big fight. And I went, "Oh, did the guy hit you?" And he went, "No, it was an 18-year-old girl." Okay. So I was like, the more the story was revealed, the more it was maybe comedy might be a good therapy, but maybe some real therapy along the side with it
might be better.
Comedy is good. Bring it out in comedy, but then a real therapist maybe needs to be.
Especially, you can't really take up windshield wiper fencing. That's not a thing.
Yeah, and it must take quite a bit of effort to. I'm presuming you ripped the whole thing out.
I think in a rage, I once kicked a hole in a paper chase window. In a rage, you can do anything.
That is middle class violence.
Can I just say to Kevin Dunn, your comedian, surely it would be Senga, and also, which is Agnes. Senga is the genuine Glasgow name, but it's Agnes backwards. Maybe he didn't think you would get that, and also we used to call that Tennant's beer that had the girls. Do you remember Kevin Daniel, comedian? How they used to have the beer with the naked ladies on. We used to call them a Sharon or a Tracy. Did anyone like a Sharon? No thanks. I'll have a red can. I'll have
Alex,
a red can.
Just to explain the references, Alex, Paper Chase is a very expensive shop where women pay £5 for a sheet of wrapping paper, or £17 because there's glitter on the pen, and it's amazing. You just sort of stand there and you just go, oh, I want everything.
I'm moist at the thought.
Fancy wrapping paper.
Yeah,
that's the business I'm going to start in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like the wrapping paper is so thick you can just about fold it round the gift.
But you have to use gaffer to stick it on because it doesn't unfold. Normal sellotape is strong. Yeah. You have to like origami fold it with a metal ruler.
Gotta use electric.
The gift is usually about the gift.
I'd had a drink.
Liquid.
I'd had a drink, and I am Scottish, so I do get shirty when I've had a drink. And so I got shirty, and I thought rather than kick the human I was with, I would kick a hole in the nearest thing, which happened to be Paper Chase on the Strand, which is one of London's largest and fanciest thoroughfares.
I like that. I like to have a choice. You're still willing to control enough, so I'm either going to kick this person or I'm going to kick the hell out of this window.
Yeah, but I mean, luckily I was next to Coutts, the very fancy private bank. It was like Coutts, Paper Chase. Just like one misfire, and I'd have been woo, 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 woo. As it was a quick belt to the Paper Chase window and onto the bus and away.
If you had, you'd be doing this podcast in a much smaller room right now.
So tiny. And there'd be a toilet behind you.
Yeah.
Some cop
right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to push us towards the questions. Have we all got our jars? Obviously, Louise, you've been given one question that you'll be given at the end. That's the one. But we've got our questions. So we'll pull the questions. We all take it in turns to answer it.
Okay. And so am I supposed to let other people talk? Is that a thing? Oh.
Yeah, you could try. It's all right. We're not scared. You're not near my window.
Near my big foot.
Right. Who is the most annoying celebrity and why? And I'm going to let Leon take this one first.
Yeah, it's probably got to be one of those Kardashians. I just hate the Kardashians, or the Geordie Shore people. I don't really know their names. So it's it's reality TV based, isn't it? I just think there's idiots. They just really annoy me. And they always because my wife watches that a lot, and they always come in and then they sit down and then they start conversations in the most bizarre way. They go, "I really want to tell you something." Just like what? Or I've been thinking about this, and then they'll say something pointless. And they had this episode. They have like pointless episodes where like nothing happened, and it's always like in the Kardashians. It's always they're about to have a party, and one of them gets upset about the party, and then they have the party. They dragged it out for a whole episode. It's like, right, nothing's happening. And there's like cuts of this is their house, this is their house, this is ours. Cuts of a street, and then. We're having this party. Let's have the party. I don't want to have the party. Okay, don't have the party, and that's it. And then, yeah. So it's one of them that annoy me.
Kardashians.
Any of them.
Louise, what about yourself, darling? Most annoying celebrity and why?
I don't really partake of celebrity culture, and Leon has done nothing to persuade me that I'm wrong. So I'm like, John Humphries off Radio 4.
Who's this John Humphries? And where's he from?
Alex, John Humphries is like mega PBS.
That sounds cool.
Kind of,
the more you know.
He was. I mean, he's retired now. I mean, he's not even annoying me, but he used to present the morning show on the BBC, sort of radio for intelligent people. And he never ever once listened to a woman, and he obviously had not read his research notes, which really fucks me off, because I used to work in broadcast news, and the presenter that never read his fucking notes was the thing that made me the most crazy, because I was a researcher or whatever, and I'd spent hours learning about some fucking subject so that when he went on the radio or the telly, he could pretend he knew what he was talking about. He doesn't even bother to do that. He's putting probably some ambitious young woman through hell, and then when he got them, he'd rip her apart for them being shit, right, and make her actually cry, and then he'd go to air and act like he hadn't even read them.
And then when he didn't know, I'm sure they blamed her. They'd be like, where was her with her notes?
Well, I didn't have my notes until an hour before air. Well, you bloody didn't wipe your ass on them. You know, do you know what I mean? So I think that's good enough, isn't it? There we go.
Not being well researched enough. I like that.
That's just never, and also they wouldn't listen. And a woman would say things like, so I've been researching insect lifespans for 20 years, and he'd go, no, really? And you're a pretty little thing. And you'd be like,
on radio,
I tell you what, if I could, I'd have kicked a hole in the partition in his cubicle.
If he was still around today, he'd lick it and then wipe it out.
Oh, there'd be a hole in his paper chase.
Wow. The very worrying.
The research, listen to women.
Freedom, yes, exactly.
She's right there. You can learn something from her.
Yes.
She'll just tell you what happened.
Well, and it's just like, and also he would somebody would come on who's an expert on something that lots of people know a little bit about, and he would act like nobody knew anything about it. Like, oh, really?
You have to get 3 X's in a row.
Right, exactly.
Bullshit.
Like alcoholic water? Where does that? I've never heard of it.
No. Do people drink alcohol in nightclubs? An extraordinary thing.
Wow.
I can't remember ever hearing him, but I'm not going to go and listen to him now.
Are you Welsh?
Me?
He's Welsh, isn't he? Yeah.
Am I Welsh?
Yeah.
I am.
No, I'm not.
Oh, no, Lucy. Where are you from? I'm trying to place your accent.
I've got a patchy accent. So
you have, yeah. It's
bit Scottish, bit English. Yeah. Half and half. Which I suppose Scottish, English, halfway down.
Because, I don't want to. Anyway, we'll talk later about where you're from and do I know your mother.
Yeah, she put paper chase.
Surrounded by fucking jobs.
How'd you get to Malaysia and what did you do to the people there?
Well, darling, yeah, that's what we do.
John Humphrey's daughter.
Alex, so far we've had the Kardashians, John Humphreys. I mean, you can choose either one of those or your own.
I never really liked Jeff Dunham. You know that comedian who does all the puppet work?
Yeah.
I never thought that shit was funny. I thought it was like a little hokey, and at times he'd be like, "Oh, this isn't racist. This pepper is Mexican, but you know, whatever. He's got a funny little mustache," and he would just make him talk, and just like ventriloquism and all that just never really got to me. And like now, having like doing all this like comedy and like in a box online, it seems like prop comedy is where it's at. I've been saying it for weeks. But I feel like if I did this podcast with Jeff Dunham, it would probably slap. Like it would really, like if he just brought out like a puppet right now, just unexpected.
Props everywhere.
Props.
I've just had to look him up, and he does look a bit rapey.
Yeah, like I wouldn't leave him alone. You know, with impressionable. You want to see my puppets? Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like the.
If those puppets could talk, eh?
Yeah, right. Get your hand out of there. I mean, it obviously probably does jokes like that.
Yeah.
And I just never liked it. I never thought that shit was funny. But he was like very popular, and never was about that. Thought it was a little annoying. But I'm sure he's killing it these days.
You got to feel sorry for him now, because if you can't be a ventriloquist because you have to wear a mask. So how does anyone know if you're cheating or not cheating?
My big worry has been that all this mask wearing is going to lead to a resurgence in ventriloquism.
Keeping you up at night.
Big worry.
Keeping you up at night.
The thing is,
Back.
I used to really want to be a ventriloquist. And I had an Orville doll and everything.
Like, you shoot for the stars there.
I know.
What happened to your dreams?
Mate, I know. You know what I mean? I'm on this stage now. Not now. This is my house. But yeah, you know, man, ventriloquism was what I really wanted to do, you know.
You got it. You still got it.
I still got it sometimes. You know, the thing is you had to choose the right words, don't you? You know, you can't say. You had to say a can of alcoholic water instead of goblet of gear.
Goblet of gear.
I'll say
Who's
goblet of gear.
underneath that chair with that dog? What the hell? Who's saying that?
Fan of
Who's
the
next?
show, Hugh. I don't know if this is right or not, but Hugh, good to hear from you this week. Jeff Dunham sleeps with Ahmed. Is that one of his puppets?
Yeah. Ahmed's his Middle Eastern puppet.
Okay.
Exactly. Look like let me just throw out these stereotypes in puppet form, and then it's gonna hit. Nobody will get mad. It's cheap.
He went, I want to do a Middle Eastern one. What are they? They're all terrorists, so I'll do that one.
We'll do that one. He'll be a skeleton.
Lee's Orville was just a green duck.
Yeah. That's not a stereotype.
No, there's no archetype.
Although,
No.
what was the monkey?
Cuddles.
Cuddles. He was a bit
Monkey.
monkey, cheeky monkey, obsessed with bananas. You know.
Yeah,
they get
that's
that whole
very
life,
stereotypical.
you know, they want to move away from that.
Some monkeys prefer a pawpaw, don't they?
Yeah, there you go. See, never did that.
I've got an Orville / R. Kelly joke. It's very
Oh,
neat.
here we go.
It was always going to happen.
Get it off your chest. You'll feel better. Let us know where you're at.
Alex, you're not going to get it, okay?
Okay.
Demographics.
Here we go.
Orville.
It's so niche. I believe I can fly. You can.
Yeah. Go for it anytime you want.
I believe I can touch the sky. You can. That's it. That's it.
I like it.
That's Orville. There he is.
Wow.
He's the one on the left.
And he used to sing a song that went, I wish I could fly right up to the sky, but I can't. And then his handler would look at him. You can. I can't. You can. Right? And that's why I'd sing that. I think the joke's better if you have to explain it to.
Oh, yeah, yes.
33%.
That's the real spice on top of a joke. Is the explanation afterwards.
Yeah.
Topical. In the news.
Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, listen.
Jokes for the elderly.
Get your audience out. Is there a big mix of R. Kelly fans and Orville fans in?
Are you 47?
Is it on stage subtitles? Really large print?
Oh,
It's Comic
Right.
Sans for the children.
You can.
I think you'll find most comedy clubs are Comic Sans right now. Hey.
Hey. Boom, boom, boom.
So let me see. Am I going to double up? We've got the Kardashians. We got John
What a mix.
and
Yeah,
Jeff
like-
Dunham. And I'm going to go for a celebrity who Louise has been fighting with this week. Russell Brand.
You fight with Russell Brand?
I thought you gave him some shit on Twitter
Oh, probably.
because of the way Russell Brand this week has been explaining feminism.
He
Lady.
has been. I've pointed out that I really couldn't focus because I could almost see one of his nipples. How is a perimenopausal woman supposed to focus what a man is saying when he's revealing so much of his body? It obviously can't be born.
Tell his nipples to stop staring at me.
Get your tits off my hands!
That was all.
Because the thing is, Russell Brand has been annoying me.
Being sexualized.
Well, he's been annoying me since before he was explaining feminism to us. I know this is really shallow, but I don't like men that've got that hairy chest that sort of comes to here and it's really, really thick. Can't take it. It makes me.
Oh no, Alex.
That's what mine up to now.
But that is just a shaving decision, isn't it? It's like we women, we're told to stop at the knee, right? And randomly, then above the knee, it's like Bermuda shorts, and.
I've never heard that. Top down or bottom up?
Top.
You stop from the knee going down?
Ankle to knee. Ankle to knee.
I thought it was down, maybe down.
No, what? Shave your thighs only, but leave the bottom like sort of leg warmers. No, that'd be leg warmers.
Shave this bit, leave, and then start again.
Right, shave. Stop here, above here, tarts. That's for tarts.
Yeah.
Except you can't because what happens back here.
Well, you've got to leave that bit there.
Got Crocs.
I never knew all this. I'll ask Russell Brand. He can explain it to me.
Yeah, he will explain to you. What I fucking hate about Russell Brand is that he said my wife does all the childcare because she's so good at it. And I'm like, do you know how you get good at stuff, Russell? By doing it. Everybody doesn't know how to work a baby when they get one. Some of us just fucking get on with it. Some of us put the first nappy on backwards, right? But children are still alive if addicted to screens in this house, right? Because somebody bothered to just bloody do it. What to call? Oh, I've got a growth mindset. No, you fucking haven't, Brand.
Weak. Go back and write better jokes.
Yes. It's just his chest hair reminds me very much of Chris D'Elia's chest hair. That.
Am I gonna have to Google something else now? Am I?
Chris D'Elia. I wouldn't Google it on your computer, Lou. I'd use your husband's. It's funnier.
Is he a porn star?
No, he's the latest Me Too movement.
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's a beautiful video of him when he finds out that you can screen print off Snapchat. And his whole face. He's in an interview, and he goes, "Oh yeah, but if they did it on Snapchat, how come anyone knows what's been said?" And somebody just went, "Oh yeah, you can screenshot," and his face just goes.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it? Yes, I've seen it. I'd forgotten that was how you said his name. Yeah, but Russell Brand. Russell Brand is of there's some I can imagine he's. Well, I don't want to say anything because this is a public place, but I'm sure. I'm sure that he's had some bad sex in his time.
I'm imagining some women have had bad sex with him. He looks a selfish lover.
Yeah, he's a selfish father.
Katie Price. Katie, the other one. Katie Price.
Katy Perry. Didn't she marry him?
Yeah, she did marry him briefly. Yeah.
Before this turns into Russell Brand.
I just can't forgive him for Arthur. You can't forgive. If you try to remake Arthur, that's it. That's it. You can't.
Oh, that's terrible. Right. I'm going to nominate Alex. Pull the next question, sweetheart. Hey, Garu, previous guest.
Garu. Couldn't get enough. Had to come back. You can't read that. Do you collect anything?
Do I collect anything?
Do you collect any items? Oh yes, Lucy, of course, in the front.
When I was working festivals and events, I've kept every wristband, but in a big glass jar. Some of them are descriptive, some of them aren't, but it just is quite a nice, handy. It's sort of a big, colourful jar of mess. I'm sure. I've probably done more events than I can clearly remember, due to the fact that some of them were like just 1 day or 2 day events. But she's off. She's off. She's left the baby in the bar.
She's coming back with a collection. I guarantee it. He's getting a collection. Race.
You stay there.
Oh, and hi, the viewers. It's just me on my own. I'll answer the question when no one's here, and then pretend it was really funny. I haven't really got any collections. What do I collect? Nothing. I don't really collect anything.
You collect CDs by the looks of it.
Yeah, well, you know, not really mine. Old school. Used to collect CDs. Oh, there you go. That's it.
What's in
Oh, cool.
This is one of them. I've got quite a few. And it's just sort of it's just amazing how many events you can work when you work events. So that's mine. Leon just said to the camera he doesn't collect anything while sat in front of 12 shelves of CDs.
Yeah, he's at mine. He's at mine.
I don't even live here.
This clearly isn't mine. Look, Daniel Bedingfield.
Oh,
Oh, thanks for that, Earworm.
You got any Morrissey back there? I want some somber ballads, goddammit.
If he had Morrissey, who right in their right mind right now is going to admit to having Morrissey? Right, Louise, show and tell. What did you grab, lovely lady?
Well, I realised this morning, I was thinking, I don't collect anything. God, no, I don't collect anything. And then I realised that what I collect is, I'm very eco-friendly.
So plastic bags?
I collect non-plastic bags.
Yep.
There's one on the back of the door.
Yep.
I collect bags for life, basically. I've got more bags for life than I ever had plastic bags ever, because I used plastic bags as bin bags, but I would never use this as a bin bag. Why would I use this as a bin bag? But that would be rubbish.
All those raisins are gonna fall right through.
Right through. And I collect bags for life. I must have hundreds.
Yeah, I had a bag intervention just the other week when my mother said, you know, you've got a large bag full of other large bags, and they're so big you wouldn't use them. And I was like, but I can't throw them out.
Oh shit.
That is bags. Bag breed bags. That's the rule. If you have a bag, it breeds other bags.
It does. Well,
you leave them alone for long enough.
I would love to be the kind of person who can remember to take a bag for life out of the house. That's my ambition.
I just go to the store and leave the bag in the car, and then I have to buy another bag in that moment.
Yes,
I don't want to bring another up. So it's just
And actually, I think I've got quite a lot more in my shopping trolley as well.
If I forget my bag and I go to the shops, I won't allow myself to buy a bag. I must then take it all to the boot, put it all in there. I punish myself for not remembering the bag. That's why then you take all the bags. Yeah.
But you live in the country, don't you? So you have to drive to the shop. So you always have what I call the giant handbag, right, which is the car. I live in a city. I'm like walking to the shop.
Oh no!
And it's like walking to the kids to school, and then coming back via the shops, and then I'm like, oh, I've got 17 cans of cat food and a watermelon. What am I going to put them in? You know?
Right. Put them in these bags.
So I need another bag.
Another bag.
Each bag has its own bag, already organized. You know exactly where everything's going to go.
Exactly, in the bag. When I was younger, if you saw somebody run out of a shop with loads of stuff in their arms, you thought they were a shoplifter.
Right.
Now they run out with all the stuff in their arms. You just think they're too tight to pay for 2p for a bag or 5p for a bag. Yeah. Things have changed.
And I've just remembered that I took about 50 bags back to one of the shops recently.
You took them back?
I took a bag full of bags and I went, listen, I've got this bag full of bags. Will you take it? And I took it to the sort of no waste shop and said, but I'm really sorry, I'm taking them all the time. But you know, the plain cotton ones, the reusable plain cotton ones that are just two squares sewed together in a handle, they don't wash. Have you ever tried to wash one? They shrink. So it's not even reusable, because if you've got, say, Ribena down it or blackberry, anything blackberry or wine or, you know, fecal matter on it, you can't wash it off without it shrinking and suddenly becoming a much lesser thing.
Oranges only, 2.
I'd also say with the
tangerines.
With the weaker, the cotton bags, which are just the squares, you can do 3 bottles of tonic water in it, but 4 in the piss, and that strap will break.
Yeah. Oh, personal bugbear, bags that have handles that are weaker than the amount of stuff they can carry. It's not so common with shopping bags, but with a lady's fashion tote. Happen all the time. Drives me nuts. Really nice bag, really big, so you can carry all your crap in it, and then the handle breaks.
Yeah, that's why they make you buy more bags.
It's like women's coats that look waterproof but aren't. Do men have coats that look waterproof but aren't? Women's coats, we have a thing where they look waterproof. They're all the practical look of a waterproof without actually being waterproof because it's a fashion garment, and women want to arrive with moist shoulders.
Again, lied to.
Every time. They didn't. Caroline Criado Perez did not put that in Invisible Women, but she should have done.
Women put up with all kinds of awful things.
What about the women who get wet on their coats?
What about the women who are spending $100 on a coat that looks waterproof but isn't?
But see, they should complain because men never have things like a zip. Like women will have zips in the middle of their back, and then they have to try and zip it up like that. No man would. If you put that on a man's clothes, every man would go, "Why is a zip in the middle of my back?" But women just go, "Okay, that's fine. I'll have a zip."
Love, it makes your moobs look nicer, and you'd go, "Oh, brilliant! I've always wanted my moobs to look lovely."
My moobs.
Down the side. Men would be like, "No, I can't have that. That's a stupid place to put a zip."
Yeah, to buy it. And we're like, "Oh, but it's so elegant." And then I can get my handsome rich husband to zip it up and do up my necklace up.
And men are like, "No, just put the zip."
I just go around with the button undone, flapping at the back like that.
See, that's it. See, that's what I do.
And my unsightly mole on display. It's fine.
There it is. Wear all the fancy clothes to go meet a man with t-shirt and jeans on every time.
To be fair, every guy wants a lady with moist shoulders. Gary, you're right.
Well,
the moist shoulders.
What's that song by Cardi B? Is it WAS? Wet ass shoulders? Is it?
Wah, wah, wah.
WAS.
Wet ass shoulders.
There's fountains, and she's walking past the fountains, and there's just water coming out of their shoulders like that.
If shoulders does not sound like macaroni in a pot.
Shoulder pad. That's what shoulder pads are for, to absorb.
So I'm a huge nerd, and I collect comic books. So I just have a bunch of boxes like this in my house.
And are they alphabetized?
Oh no, this is just a mess. This is just stuff. Just who knows what's going on here? I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It's just silly stuff. If I had a shelf like Leon did, I could alphabetize it, but it's just a bunch of just.
I mean, you can still alphabetize things in a box, Alex. And then on the outside, you can write A to M.
That would probably be good. It would make more sense. I'm kind of just waiting for it to get out of control, and then I'll just remind myself of all the things I bought.
You could, if only there was some kind of lockdown situation where you weren't allowed to go out, that would be the perfect opportunity to do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sort it out, Alex.
I can't. It's too much.
That does sound like a bad excuse for not going on a date, though, isn't it? Wait, I can't come out tonight. I've got to reorganize
my comic. It's gotten to the point that I have to have I gotta buy fancy boxes that have the comics on the cover of the box so I can remember what's inside of the box. It's like, oh, this must be my Spider-Man box.
There was at least one Spider-Man in the other box. There was at least one Spider. I mean, you need to sort it out, Alex. What if you die? And then you've got to leave it. Then some poor relative's got to just sort it out. God's sake.
That's too much.
See, the thing is, I've also got a comic book collection where I vary from cardboard ones to the right width for the bag and boards, or the ones with the click, like the big, expensive ones, so that you can see through. It's very difficult. And the dream is to one day, every comic book collector wants to sit down and sort through them. But then you just see one comic and you think, well, whilst I'm here, I'll read that comic again.
And you just sit down.
Then you just sit down.
Oh, well, that's lovely. It's maybe the randomness is part of the pleasure then.
He's like, oh, I didn't know I bought that.
Yeah. Actually, why would you you're right. Why would you alphabetize them if randomness is pleasure? I'll shush now. Stop chastising you, Alex.
And then you just buy books, and then it's on the shelf, so you see it. So it's like this. Oh, well, I bought that, and then you know exactly where it is all the time. That's it. I'm a nerd now. Everybody knows.
Leon, you don't collect anything. You can't think of one single thing you collect.
What do I collect? I don't really collect anything. I don't think. Do I collect anything?
Tiny vials of blood of your
victims. My favorite authors, like Terry Pratchett books. I have got like probably all of his stuff. So
yeah. I got a few of those.
Terry Pratchett books. That's about it, I think. And yeah, that's it. That's the only thing I'd say was a collection. Nothing else really.
My main bitch, Terry.
Right, Leon.
I just have to show you what just happened. What's come in here? And
who is this?
It's a child, and he said that the loving sentence that my children really the only sentence they say to me, which is, "Can I have more time on a Switch?" That's what they say. And because I'm a pushover and busy, I'm gonna. Yes, but you need to change for Kung Fu.
I don't have any kids. Obviously, I showed you my comic book collection, so
I would replace my children with a comic book collection in a minute.
Yeah.
More money in the future.
You want to see my comics
Leon,
reproduce?
Leon, your turn to pull out a question because we've got to get this question done, and we've got the last famous guest question that we've got to do. So come on, guys.
Here we go. Okay. What unusual place would you like to do comedy? And then what unusual venue would you like to do?
Oh shit. Okay.
So I've seen it, like I've done it, I've been on like on the bus, like you do the comedy bus, that was quite cool. But I've always wanted to do comedy in a cave. Like in Gibraltar, I think it's St. Christopher's Cave. They've like, I'd love to do comedy in a cave. I reckon that'd be really good. Good acoustics, nice atmosphere. I reckon that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, comedy in a cave somewhere. That's my answer.
I think I saw Karen Bailey looking at somebody had one of those day boats, you know, the ones with the sort of the size you'd get sort of in France, but like day trip boats. But I mean, I suppose at the moment you'd have to think about social distancing. But if we take social distancing out of the stupidness, thinking of the acoustics, what about Cheddar Gorge, Wookey Hole?
Yeah, a bit nearer than Gibraltar to me. Yeah.
Down the road.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lovely.
Can you imagine if there was
at Wookey Hole anyway? Actually, but it's not in a cave.
Kooky times at Wookey Hole. Alex, Wookey Hole is some of these big caves in the southwest. And they've got, and I realised that's a really, really weird thing, but they've got stalactites and stalagmites, which are those.
Oh, I know that. I took earth science in high school. we have earth science over here in America.
Very aware that
they've got canyons and that. They're like Cheddar Gorge, but bigger. They've got canyons.
Yeah,
they're even bigger than Burrington Combe, if you've been there.
You know, with America's come on loads now. Meghan Markle, she was married one of the British royalty, so they're not even allowed to marry British royalty now. Americans, they've come on loads.
That's true. They weren't allowed to. They weren't allowed that.
Yeah, proving themselves all the time.
After 2 seasons of Suits, I still think that was the best choice. I would have did the same shit personally.
Sorry, just catching up on comments. Garu says comic books are the best form of birth control, and Ray says, I will tell my daughter that.
I am shooting blanks. Nothing's coming out of here.
Into your own hand.
Garu would like to do a cool show where the audience likes comedy. Louise, where would you like to do I mean, can you imagine a lineup where it wasn't just white men? That'd be awesome.
I mean, that's always good. That's always good. To be honest, I've done comedy in some weird. I did comedy in a garden shed the other day, in the home of a man who had 2 sheds and a pergola.
Overcompensating.
There is somewhere that I've always wanted to do comedy, and I can't, and it would basically involve me setting up my own gigs, so I can't be bothered. And maybe like in a butcher's shop, surrounded by like pigs, like Rocky, but for comedy. There.
Every time you got a punchline, you punch the pig or something.
Punch a pig. Oh, kick a hole in no.
Yeah. Think that.
I think it like somewhere like that, like really. Yeah, I mean, I've done comedy in a food warehouse. I've done comedy in a tiny little box restaurant with 4 people. I've done other, I've done a lot of weird stuff in that time. Maybe in the back of a 1986 Datsun Cherry, maybe.
That's exact.
Don't know what a Datsun Cherry is, but you don't have to play that.
Nissan.
Maybe you could do it in a paper chase. That's like a little bit of a payback.
In a paper chase, as a payback. You're right. Kicking a hole wasn't bad enough. Then I had to inflict my.
It's like you come out, you're wrapped, and you just like snap out.
I'm so glad.
20 years ago, I was kicking a hole in this. Now I'm going to kick the dick out of this gig.
I brought the house down. Well, just the window. I just brought the window down. But this time.
I can just imagine, when you break through the paper, the thing is paper chase wallpaper wrapping was so thick. It would just be like, you'd be like, can someone let me in?
It'd just be a big rustly parcel. Shouting.
That's a great opener. It's solid.
That's probably how they fixed the
Somebody
window.
get me out. I meant to get
Just papered over it.
Papered over it. Now nobody gets it.
That's not
Alec, what about you, sweetheart?
I told you what it was.
Sorry.
If I'm gonna do comedy somewhere, my top 2. Number 1, we have this restaurant here in America called Cracker Barrel, and it's this like southern like kind of breakfasty spot with like all types of random stuff on the walls. It's like one of those like overstimuli for children kind of places, but like a very like old America southern kind of cabin, kind of woodsy kind of place, and they just pack that place with old people. And they just every Sunday, and I would love to just interrupt everyone's meal to do my set in the middle of all of that. It's like, I know none of y'all expected comedy, but it just hit them with that. And if it went really well, it went really bad, it would still be extremely enjoyable for me.
So we have that in Bristol. We have a thing called Belly Laughs in January, where we just invade all the restaurants. And it's about getting bums on seats in restaurants in January, which is a notoriously tricky time. But so that's why I've done tiny box restaurants and things. But I think, yeah.
That's perfect. I need to start that.
And they're just like, what? I'm trying to eat.
I didn't expect this. I did that once at like a meadery or something. It was like a small brewery, and I came in, and most everyone there had no idea that comedy was happening. And I set up a little camera to film my set. And my camera like fell, like it was like sitting on something, but it fell. And all I got was the reaction of one table to the side. So I didn't get myself, but I got people whose back were to me. They didn't turn around to watch me. So they were just eating their food. And I got to watch them laugh in real time as they tried to ignore me. It was the most satisfying video. It was like,
that's fun.
So Cracker Barrel is my number 1.
Right.
Number 2 is going to be like a bus tour through a city, and they have to just stop somewhere and listen to me.
Right. Yeah.
That would be funny.
You could just get a job as a tour bus guide, and then
and I have 5 to 10 minutes of comedy for you right now.
Look, she's looking stern.
No, I'm just thinking, because I like doing those red bus tours whenever you go to a big town. And the people that do those tours, they do believe that they are the next funniest person. And sometimes you will have quite a distance between that interesting point and that interesting point. And they're just like, oh, over there is the oldest ghost recorded. His name was John. And it's bollocks. It's utter bollocks.
Yeah, first job
over there, they filmed Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Before we wrap it up, we've got one last question to offer to our special guest. Now, Louise, we have all answered this in our turn. Every single guest has answered this. And if Guru, previous guest, don't answer this question. Louise, if you could choose between a magic carpet or a flying horse, what would you have?
So can I ask just an exploratory question before I answer? I'm assuming that a magic carpet has all the properties of a normal carpet except magic, and a flying horse has all the properties of a normal horse except flying and a bit magic. In which case, definitely the carpet, because I do not need anything more whose arse needs wiping, or and I've met horses, right? We used to work horse adjacent. I used to work for my local riding for the disabled stables as a fundraiser, right? And that you'd say to that horse, right, come along, take me to rescue the elves or whatever you were asking it to do. Go, oh no, there's a bin bag, no, right? And no, flying carpet, right? Because then you'd just be like, flying carpet's not faced by bin bags. It's not. You don't need to feed it. You can run your Dyson over it once a week, and that's all the care it needs. You don't need to, take it to the vet. It's not going to. My dog's got a splinter. I've got to take the dog to the vet in the next half hour. I don't need any more animals or things to care for. Thank you.
I like that. Because a horse could get scared by pigeons and stuff, couldn't it? And planes.
Oh, I once nearly got thrown off a horse because a pheasant went past it in the countryside.
Wow, that's what happened to Christopher Reeve.
Jesus, really calm down, Mildred. It's the countryside. They have birds here now.
If I get a flying horse, I'm gonna name it Mildred. That's all I'm saying.
And I believe you could say the same thing to John Humphreys. There are birds here now, mate.
Yes. Oh, beautiful.
Call back.
That's a 3-pointer.
Flying John Humphreys or flying paper chase?
Chase every time. What the fuck would I do with a John Humphreys?
You could fly in places.
Oh, he wouldn't listen though. You'd say, honestly, I've researched it. We turn left at the Grand Canyon, right? And he'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And then you'd go on and you'd find yourself in Burrington bloody Coombe or Wookey Hole. And in the flying paper chase, they sell those nice notebooks I like.
And you can find places. Pretty good.
Yeah, if you had an unlimited paper chase, you could make clothes out of that fucking stuff. It's so thick.
You could make houses.
You could fly wherever there was like a paper emergency, land it, and come in.
With my wrapping paper wings. What?
Yeah. You'd make a aeroplane.
Forget that the original aeroplanes were made of paper.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
What was their boat? What was their plane called? Orville and Wilbur.
Orville. Was he the duck?
Oh.
Yes. I wish I could fly.
It was everything's getting tied up.
Oh, yeah.
What have we else referenced? Must have been something we haven't come back to.
Right, Louise, do you have? You've got Spesh Magic Lady, haven't you? I'm trying to find your Twitter
Spesh Magic Lady on my Twitter. Yes. It's like special but shorter, because I could have just done my name, but no. At Spesh Magic Lady on Twitter. That's where I exist online. I do have Facebook. I do Instagram, but can't. But Twitter is where I hang out. Kitty Hawk, thank you, Ray. Yes.
I love
it. Proper research. That's what this program needed.
I had the research. I just didn't listen to it. He had the whole notes. I was like,
right.
That's you, Alex.
So for everybody, please go on and follow Spesh Magic Lady. Today, Big World has entered the world of Twitter, and it's Big World Comedy. So if anyone watching has got any questions that we can add to our magic jars, please help, because the simpler, the funnier they are. I mean, I know that Dario Durham, Leon and I discussed favourite colours for 15 minutes, and we were crying.
Mauve, goddammit. Mauve is the best colour.
Don't make me choose.
So many to choose.
Don't make
So
me-
yes, please, everyone go on and join Louise Lee on Spesh Magic Lady on Twitter. We are Big World Comedy, and I just want to thank everyone for coming today. And Louise, you're amazing. I put out that little call this morning. Does anybody come and be a guest? And you were like, bitch, please.
I like hanging out with
I
funny
can't do.
people.
But yes, just want to say thank you very much, everybody. Please keep getting in touch with all your comments. Share this link. Tell everyone about it. It's every Monday, 4 p.m. We are comedians spanning the globe, having a laugh.
And
Not
Bristol.
not really much more you
Oh,
can
the
say.
things are
So
matching, Alex.
Oh yeah.
we're all blue.
Except Leon's doing it wrong.
Ishk. Right. All right. So
Someone's
I'm
got
going to
to be
say
fat,
goodbye
don't
to
agree.
everybody. Love you lots. Thank you so much,
Bye.
everybody. And be special. Wash your hands and wear a mask. Everybody. And